Let's talk about Mark Coleman. Mark, the Hammer Coleman, godfather of ground and pound. 60 years old now, had a record of 16 wins, 10 losses in his career. He had his first fight in the UFC back in 1996. What the hell were you doing back in 1996? Were you even born yet? Perhaps you were still that little amoeba swimming around aimlessly. You know what I mean? Or maybe you were a bit older. Maybe you were like a toddler. Your mom's feeding you your mashed peas and you're spitting them out. They're all rolling down your chin like a little baby slob, crying about everything. Maybe you were a bit older, like a tween. And you're sitting at your desk at school and you let out this horrible fart and the girl you had a crush on came by your desk and she smelt it and it was humiliating. Maybe that's where you were in 1996. Or maybe you were a bit older, like in high school, right? You had your first drink or set of drinks and you woke up with your head in the toilet and no clue what the hell happened to your underwear. Or maybe you were even older and at your first real job and someone took a dump in the men's bathroom and didn't flush it. But since people saw you exit the bathroom last, you got blamed for it. And you had to have a chat with HR about proper bathroom etiquette. Humiliation. Anyways, I'm saying all that bullshit because that's exactly what happened to me, okay? All those things, exactly what happened to me. Kiss my ass. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is Mark Coleman started his career a long time ago, and he's a pioneer of the sport, okay? He actually won his first 6 fights, right, all in the UFC. He was dominant, this gigantic muscle-bound wrestler, so intimidating, and he used to use headbutts as part of his ground and pound to win fights.
Down on the ground. Keeps him from sliding. Once you create distance, then you have opportunities.
There's a right hand, another right hand by Carly, doubles up on the right.
Oh, he doesn't want to turn his back. That's going to be it.
That is all.
But then he lost his next 4 fights, and cardio was the big issue. Other fighters realized all you had to do is get this guy midway into the second round, and he wouldn't be able to even throw a punch. He'd be so tired. All that muscle needs oxygen, you know what I mean? That was the key to victory against Mark Coleman. Now remember this legendary knockout? Pete Williams, perhaps the first head kick knockout in UFC history.
It's a bit stunned.
Oh, my goodness! Coleman's down, that's it.
But soon after, when Mark Coleman went to Pride FC back in 1999, he went 6-1 in his first 7 fights. A revived career. Now, Pride did allow knees on the ground, which Mark took full advantage of.
Take too many. Oh, knocked out. Is he knocked out?
I think he's out. I think he's knocked out.
He's out. He's out.
Oh my God.
Now, let's face it, okay? Pride would not test for steroids. In fact, it was in their contracts in bold, not in the fine print, in bold, that they do not test for steroids. Check this out, okay? Here's a picture of the first page of an actual contract from Pride, brought to us by our trusted sources here in the channel, okay? It clearly says, we do not test for steroids. We repeat, we do not test for steroids. Is that clear? No testing, nothing. So do whatever you want. We mean that. We do not test for steroids. Understood? Regards. So really, they encouraged its use, and Mark Coleman took advantage of that. But anyways, Coleman did have some long-term success in Pride, ended up losing 3 of his last 4, and his final fight was in 2010.
And going for the shoot.
Oh,
Miss.
bad for Mark.
Very bad. Left hook. Uppercut. Finds its mark and down goes Coleman.
That wasn't his last fight. It was just one of his losses. Anyways, after one match in Pride, he lost to Fedor Emelianenko. And afterwards, he brought his 2 little daughters into the ring. Now, who the hell knows why? What the hell kind of idea is that? It was very sad. And we all knew that the end of his career was near. Because why the hell would he do that? Now, he has been inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, and deservedly so. We all enjoyed watching him fight. He was recently in the news for some crazy situation. Here's the news article, okay? UFC legend Mark Coleman saved his parents from a house fire in Fremont, Ohio on March 12, 2024. He was hospitalized for smoke inhalation and burns after rescuing his parents and attempting to save his dog, Hammer. Coleman was in a coma for a few days, but he has since recovered and is advocating for fire safety and smoke detectors. There you go. What a guy. A man among men. Here's to you, Mark Coleman. That's to you, Mark Coleman. And that ain't coffee, Mark. Don't even think it is. That's to you, Mark Coleman. Great career. Mark Coleman, here's to you. One more. Sorry. Career like that, he deserves 2 swigs.